it's Ty and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do my first book haul of the year for 2022, and I just have a little bit of everything in this book haul. I have some of my book of the month picks, I have some adult books, I have some, a couple of young adult books, I have some horror, I have mystery thrillers, I have some nonfiction, fiction, just a mix of things here. I'm not really going to go into any particular order, so we'll go ahead and get started. So I just lied. I said I wasn't going in any particular order, but I am going to start off with my book of the month picks, and we're going to start with my picks for the month of January. And I had 3 picks. So basically I have the book that I chose for the month of January, and then I had 2 add-ons. So the book that I chose for January is Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins, and I haven't read anything by this author yet, and this is a mystery thriller, and all I know about this one is it's supposed to be about a group of people that go to this island. People start to go missing and they're trying to figure out what happens. I've actually heard mixed things about this one, so I'm curious to know how I'm going to feel about this one. And my first add-on for the month of January is The Maid by Nita Prose, and I'm really excited to actually get to this one because I've heard nothing but good things about this. This is supposed to be like a cozy mystery. I've never read a cozy mystery. I don't really even know what that means, so I'm excited to get to this one. The only thing I really know about this one is it's supposed to be about a maid at a hotel that discovers that one of the guests has died and she is being blamed for the murder. So she is actually trying to figure out who actually murdered this guest. But like I said, a lot of people have said nothing but good things about this one, so I'm looking forward to this one. And then my last add-on for January is Severance by Ling Ma. This is an older book, and I just happened to find this one by scrolling through the books on Book of the Month, and I haven't really heard anyone talk about this one. But all I know about this is it's some fever that came over New York, and sounds like it's right up my alley, so I wanted to check this one out and just curious to see what I think about this one. And then we're going to go ahead and talk about my book of the month picks for the month of February. And my actual book of the month pick is Don't Cry for Me by Daniel Black. And I actually tried to get to this one in the month of February, but I didn't quite make it. But this is supposed to be about a father who is on his deathbed writing letters to his son. I guess trying to reconnect with his son. I'm not really sure. It sounded interesting. I've heard a couple of people talk about this one and seem to really enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to getting to this one. And then my add-on for the month of February is Vladimir by Julia May Jonas. I've heard mixed reviews about this one, and this one might have been more of a cover buy for me, but this is supposed to be about an English professor that kind of starts being infatuated with like a novelist that has arrived on campus. I've heard mixed things about this one, but again, this cover is what intrigued me, so I'm really curious to know what I'm gonna think about this one. And then for the month of March, I have 3 books that I chose for book of the month, and I have the main book that I chose, my actual pick, and then I have 2 add-ons. My main pick was one of my most anticipated reads, and that is The Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. And this is supposed to be about a woman that's doing an investigation of another woman that was acquitted of 2 cold cases, and is supposed to be told with a dual timeline. I'm really excited about this one. I will be reading this one really soon because I'm trying to do a video where I'm reading a bunch of new releases, so this one will be read really soon. And then speaking of Simone St. James, I saw that they had this book, which is an older book of hers, which is called The Broken Girls. I'm not sure if it's like her first book, but I decided to go ahead and pick this one up and use it as one of my add-ons. And this is another one of her books that's told with like a dual timeline. And it's about this, I think it's like a writer who decides that she's going to do a story about a girl that's gone missing at this, I think it's like some boarding school, I think. So I'm intrigued to get to this one. I've actually heard really good things about this story, so I am really excited about this one. And then the other add-on I use for the month of March is Thick by Tressie McMillan Cottom. And this is just supposed to be a collection of essays on beauty, media, money, and more. And I've heard really good things about this one. For some reason, this just really caught my attention, especially because like I have been on this like nonfiction kick. So I really wanted to check this out, especially after I kind of looked up some reviews on this and saw that quite a few people really enjoyed this, so I wanted to check this one out. So I decided to go ahead and pick this one up. So the next few books are a few books that I have already read or I am currently reading, so we'll go ahead and talk about those next. And the first one that I wanted to go ahead and talk about is Ashes of Gold by J.L. And this is the second book in the Wings of Ebony duology. And I have a whole video dedicated to this where I have read two duologies, this one and Our Violent Ends. So I'll have that video linked down below in my description bar if you want to check that out, because I really won't discuss it too much here. But I ended up giving this book a 2 stars, I think. I wasn't really a fan of this one. I really enjoyed the first book, Wings of Ebony. I gave that book a 5 stars. If you are not new to this channel, you know I raved about that book. That book was in my top 5 books of last year. And this one just really fell short for me. I don't really know what happened, but I just really wasn't a fan of this one. But like I said, if you want to check that video out, I will have that one linked down below. And then the next book that I have here that I have recently read, but I haven't talked yet about on my channel, but I will be soon, and that is Cultish, The Language of Fanaticism by Amanda Montell. So this book is really just about how language is used to recruit people into different type of cults, and I just thought this book was fine. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but I just basically wanted more from this. I will be talking more about this in one of my nonfiction videos that I'll be doing here pretty soon, so look out for that. But yeah, I just thought this one was fine. And then the next book that I recently got that I'm actually in the middle of is Gallant by V.E. Schwab. And this is a young adult mystery horror novel, I guess you might want to call it. And this is just about our main character, Olivia, who was orphaned by her mother, and she has always had her mother's journals, and in her mother's journal, it tells her that she needs to stay away from this house called Gallant, but she ends up getting a letter telling her that she needs to come to the house Gallant, and when she gets there, she knows that something's not quite right with the house. That's pretty much where I'm at in the book right now. So far, I am loving it. I'm loving the vibes of this book. It is kind of creepy. And right now I just have the dust jacket because the book is somewhere that I can't reach. But the book has illustrations in it, which I wasn't expecting. It has the journal entries in there. I am really enjoying it. Like I said, what I can actually compare that book to, it's giving me Mexican Gothic vibes. So if you like that book, I would say it's like the young adult version of that. So take that for what it's worth. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this one so far. And then the next book that I have is another one of my most anticipated releases of the year, and that is Where the Drowned Girls Go by Shauna McGuire. And this is the 7th book in the Wayward Children series. And this one is about another wayward children's school and how it is not as friendly as the Wayward Children's School that we are used to in this series. And I have not gotten to this one yet. I still have 3 more books to go before I get to this one. I've only heard a couple of people talk about this one and they have enjoyed it. So far on the series, I've been a little lukewarm. I've enjoyed the series so far. It's not like my favorite, but I've liked the books enough to keep going. So we'll see what I think when I get to this one. And then another book that was on my most anticipated releases is How High We Go in the Dark by Sequoia Nagamatsu. And this is about a society that's trying to rebuild itself after a plague. And again, I haven't heard too many people talk about this one. This book is just so pretty. I haven't heard too many people talk about this one. So I'm really excited to get to this one because again, I am someone that loves anything that has to do with like a plague or a breakout or a virus, anything like that. I am here for that. So this is definitely one of those books that I'm going to be getting to sooner rather than later. And then we have The Violence by Delilah S. Dawson. And I didn't know anything about this one until I saw people start talking about this one over on Instagram. And this, I think, is about another like epidemic or something that breaks out in the world. And I'll just read the little tagline like on the dust jacket, because this is literally all that I know about it. And it says, 3 generations of abused women must navigate their chilling new reality as a mysterious epidemic of violence sweeps the nation in this compelling novel of self-discovery, legacy, and hope. That's all that I need to know. And the little bit of things that I've heard about it on Instagram, I've heard nothing but good things. So we'll see what I think when I get to this one. Another anticipated release for 2022 that I have is The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. And so this is about a woman that decides that she needs to stay with her brother at his apartment, but then she realizes that her brother never shows back up at the apartment, and she has to figure out what is going on and why he has suddenly disappeared. And so I'm really excited about this one. I've never read anything by Lucy Foley. I have the guest list, heard good things about it, but I'm really excited about this one. Again, this is one of the ones that I'm going to be reading sooner rather than later. So yes. And then another new release I have is The Red Palace. This is a young adult, and it's like set in the 1700s. And this is a murder mystery, I believe, where 4 women are murdered in a single night, and then they have to try to figure out how they were killed. And so again, this is one of the ones that I've seen kind of floating around on Instagram, and I'm curious to see how I feel about this one. And then the last new release that I have is The House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas, and it's the second book in the Crescent City series, I guess that's what we're calling it. And so, to be fair, I haven't even read the first one yet. I haven't made it there. I'm trying to tell myself I'm not going to start on this series until I make my way through the Throne of Glass series, because I never read that series and I wanted to. I have read her A Court of Thorn and Roses series, but I just haven't read The Throne of Glass. So I wanted to read that one before I jump into this one. And I mean, I feel like I already know I'm probably gonna enjoy it, so I just wanted to go ahead and buy this one. And to be honest, I don't even really know what this is about or what this is supposed to be about. I just know I think it's supposed to be more like urban fantasy, so it's supposed to be set in our world, but with fantastical creatures, and there's like a murder mystery going on, but that's all that I can tell you. Well, I actually forgot that I actually do have a new release, but it's the second book in, I guess, a duology, you could call it. But so I got Black Girls Must Die Exhausted, which just came out last year. But then the follow-up to that is Black Girls Must Be Magic by Jane Allen. And so this just follows a girl. In the first book, it's supposed to follow a girl named Tabby who finds out that she's not able to have children. But I'm not exactly sure what the second book follows. But I saw both of these and I decided that I just had to have them because they're so pretty. So I have heard good things about this first book, and I just wanted to go ahead and just pick them both up because it just sounds like something that I would enjoy. But yeah, I forgot that I picked this up. So technically one of them is a newer release, but I can't really read that one until I read the first one. But yeah, I went ahead and picked both of these up. These last few books are just random books that I have been picking up over the last couple of months. And these next 2 books that I'm going to talk about are 2 books that complete a series, and that is going to be The Dragon Republic, which is the second book in the Poppy War series, and then we have The Burning God, which is the 3rd book in the Poppy War series. And I went ahead and picked both of these up. Now, I have not read The Poppy War yet. I plan on reading that book soon because I'm trying to read this series before Babel, which is the new book by the author R.F. Kuang, comes out at the end of the summer, I think. Not that you have to read the series before you read that book, I don't think, but I just really want to read the series before that book comes out. So I went ahead and just picked up these 2 books because I got them for cheap. So I went ahead and picked them up, and I feel like the Poppy War is going to be a series that I'm going to enjoy. And I also had a hard time trying to find this dang on second book in hardcover because I have the Poppy War in hardcover and I could not find this one in hardcover for the longest time. And then when I finally saw it, I went ahead and bought it. So that's my defense. And the Poppy War, all I know is about an orphan by the name of Ren who goes to like a training academy. That's all I got. Somehow I have not been spoiled for this series, but that's all I got, and it's set in China. And now I have heard people have like mixed reviews as like the series goes on, but I'm still thinking it's gonna be a series that I'm going to enjoy. So I wanted to go ahead and make sure I had the complete thing, because if I really enjoy the Poppy War, I know I'm gonna want to like binge the whole thing. So I went ahead and got it. And then I have The Drowning Kind by Jennifer McMahon, and this is actually one of her newer books that came out last year, and I went ahead and picked this one up because I recently read The Winter People, which I really enjoyed. So this one follows a woman who returns to her family home because her sister died in the pool, and she realizes that the pool, I guess more people have died in the pool. So she's trying to figure out what's going on, I guess. And so not only did I buy that book by Jennifer McMahon, but I also bought The Invited by Jennifer McMahon. And this is about this couple who ends up building a haunted house. Pretty sure that's what this says. I haven't read the whole Dust Jacket, but that's what the top of this says. And so if you haven't read like The Winter People by Jennifer McMahon, she's more of a horror writer. So both of these, I guess, are supposed to be more on the horror side. And so, yeah, so I got both of these. And she's supposed to be coming out with a newer book, I believe in April, The Children on the Hill, which I'm really excited about. So I'm definitely excited for both of these. Then the next one that I have is The Escape Room by Megan Golden. I have recently read The Night Swim by this author, which I really enjoyed. I ended up giving that one 5 stars. So I went ahead and got this book. I've seen the movie The Escape Room, which I'm gonna assume was based off of this book. So if you don't know what The Escape Room is, it's a room that you have to try to escape from. that's the best that I can do. So I'm gonna assume that this is what this is about. Yeah, welcome to the escape room. Your goal is simple: get out alive. So I don't think I've actually heard anybody talk about this, but if it's anything like the movie, I think I'm gonna enjoy it. And then I picked up Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. I have not read anything by Agatha Christie. I actually have wanted to read something by her. I didn't really know where to start. I know Mara from Books Like Whoa is like a huge Agatha Christie fan. And I guess the only reason why I picked this one, I found it on sale, and 2, because I saw that the movie was coming out. And I guess 3, I just kind of like this cover. But I didn't really see too many people say really good things about the movie, but this one, all I know is that somebody dies on a boat and they're trying to figure out who did it. So we'll see what I think about this one. So then the next one that I have is The Ghost Tree by Christina Henry. And so I recently read Near the Bone by this author, and this is supposed to be a horror novel, and I really loved Near the Bone. So when I saw this one that was by the same author, I just knew that I had to have this one. And so this is about a girl that lives in a town where 2 girls were brutally murdered, and I think she had like a vision of a monster, some sort of monster or a creature that committed the, she had a vision of the monster that committed the killing. And so if this is anything like Near the Bone, then this is definitely going to be something that I liked. So I had to have this one. And so then the last book, I'm not really sure why I bought this. I think this was more so a cover buy for me. And that is Black Phone Stories by Joe Hill. I know this is like from a short story collection, and the movie is supposed to be coming out this summer, I think. I've seen the previews. I know I plan on going to see the movie because it looks like something that I want to go see. But when I saw this at Barnes & Nobles, I was like, ooh, I need that. But now I'm just like, am I gonna read this? I'm not sure. But this is supposed to be about a man that like kidnaps children, and then like one of the kids is like in the basement where he's been held captive, and he starts receiving like phone calls from like the other dead children, I think. But yeah, the cover did it for me, but I don't know if I'm actually gonna read this. But yeah, so that is all the books that I have received or gotten or bought over this last few months. So the last 3 months, January, February, March. So that is all that I have for you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.